Badass Granddad, episode 46.
Another one, thank you.
You ever taken a really dumb risk?
Guilty.
Well, I know I have. My name's John Graham. I'm the Badass Granddad you didn't know you had. And I'm here to tell you another story from my adventures, to offer some tips on taking risks and living a life of meaning, courage, and passion. Anyway, in the war in Vietnam, I was stationed at Hue, a small city in the northern part of what was then South Vietnam. And part of my job was intelligence, counterintelligence, stuff like that. But part of it also was managing development projects paid for by U.S. taxpayers. Projects, for example, for building schools and fish ponds. And as part of that job, I had to go inspect these things, these projects. And so one bright spring day, I put my M16 in the back of my Jeep and headed out about 15 miles west. And I had with me a friend of mine, Graham Fallon, a Navy corpsman, who was responsible for health clinics in the same area called Nam Hoa District. And so he came with me, and the two of us headed out. Now, it's a beautiful road out there. It winds along the banks of the Perfume River and over some high bluffs where the scenery is absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. So Graham says, hey, can we stop for a second? I want to take some pictures. So I say, I don't know. But he convinces me, so it's against my better judgment, we stop. He gets out, climbs up to the top of a boulder with his camera, and also lights up a cigarette. Well, he's barely lit that cigarette when there's a sound of a rifle. Ping, 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 rifle bullets hitting the boulder on which he's sitting. So I grab my M16, empty the clip into the bush, but I can't even see a muzzle flash, so that doesn't do any good anyway. The two of us run for the Jeep and get the hell out of there. Point being, that was a really stupid thing to do, to stop in the middle of a country infested with Viet Cong. It was safe enough to drive there for the most part during the day, but during the night, Charlie owned the road, owned that whole country. If you're going to drive through there even in the daytime, you better drive through there fast. We didn't do that. So the point being this, I think it's really important to live a life with risks in it. If you live a life without risks, it's going to be a boring life and inconsequential. But if you're going to take risks, for God's sake, take smart ones. Don't take stupid risks like Graham and I did that day. Smart risk meaning getting a lot of good information, making a good plan, assessing your own skills and resources, and assessing the odds of whether you'll succeed or whether you'll fail. You do this, and it's just basically common sense. You're likely to succeed. If you don't do it, well, you probably won't succeed. I guarantee it. I welcome your comments on this episode.